Hey there, all you amazing authors, speakers, coaches. I want to take a few minutes today and give you a tip on how to use the halo effect to legally, ethically, morally magnify your brand, get more speaking gigs, sell more books, leverage your programs, whatever the case may be for you. So, first off, again, legally, ethically, morally. Everything I'm going to tell you, you need to be sincere about, you need to be legit with, need to be consistent with. There are definitely ways that you could manipulate people in a negative way that and lie to them, right? It happens. Some people do it regularly, and I'm sure you've probably seen it. Once I explain this, I'm sure you've seen it, you recognize it. So really don't let this be you, okay? And at the end, in the comments, I'm going to put an example of something that I did just this week so you can see kind of how to make it work, all right? So the second thing is, what is the halo effect? If you go out and Google the halo effect, the first thing you probably run into are some psychological studies between attractive people and less attractive people and how that being with attractive people makes less attractive people look better. I think that's where it originally came from. But what we're really talking about here is brands. And so you'll notice that sometimes companies buy each other out. This is the most dramatic way to see this. One company will buy out another company. And in the short run, even though company A buys out company B still has their original logo, their original name, that kind of thing. And then as time goes by, maybe they're together. So FedEx Kinko's, it could be an example of that, right? With them, they merged together and it's still called FedEx Kinko's, but there's other examples where maybe they merge together and then one company just takes over the other one. So the halo effect refers to the way that brands work together and the way that they cross over. And you can use the positive leverage or positive name recognition, positive imagery, positive verbiage from another company. You get some residual effect from that. That's called the halo effect. All right. So let's talk about that. Who, what, where, you associate with can have a big impact on your brand, both positive and negative. So let's say you start to associate yourself greatly with one political party versus the other. In one hand, that could be really positive for your brand with people of similar mindset in that party, but it could also alienate the other party, right? You associate yourself with a celebrity in some way that is doing some good, make a positive impact in the world, helping others, a lot of things that can raise your credibility as well. You associate with a celebrity who then does something negative and gets in trouble, goes to jail, whatever, goes down, that can affect you in a negative way. So you have to be careful with these things. So what I recommend for a lot of speakers, coaches, authors, subject matter experts is to use what we call trust triggers. And that's things like associating yourself by getting national media and by associating yourself by contribution, whether you get paid or don't get paid, with different resources and different charities, things like that. So I regularly contribute to things like Today Show, CNN iReport, USA Today, BuzzFeed, TED. These things I've got some of them that I've got a bunch of stuff on, some that I'm now working to get more things on, because I want to be able to associate myself with those type of brands, right? Because they have good long-term positive halo, right? They have positive feeling amongst many people. Now, by doing that, you get some residual from that. And I'm going to put an example of a story that I did for the Today Show parenting section on Vault apps. I'll put that below. We use this inside my martial arts school and fitness facilities and other places as a way to get out some information about vault apps, which can be very scary and parents many times don't know anything about, but also gives us a halo effect of working with the Today Show, right? So we talked about celebrity. We talked about, here's another thing, a charity, aligning with a charity. Again, I wouldn't probably align with a brand new charity if I didn't know them really well because they don't really have a track record. Not that you can't help them, but you got to be just a little bit careful. You've got a limited amount of time and bandwidth. So a long-term charity that you can associate with. I at one point actually had my own charity, the Break the Chain Foundation, and we were big on prevention and mitigation of child abuse, and we did that for years. The only reason we even stopped is the legal requirements to run a nonprofit and everything you got to keep up with didn't make a lot of sense for us to continue that. It was resource intensive, and we could still do our toy drives and our women's self-defense classes and our kids anti-bully programs just as effectively without having to do all the paperwork, essentially is what it was. And have to worry about the financial stuff that you have to go through and all that, right? Now here's the last point: news releases, media releases. I do a lot of stuff where I'll help people get national media attention, and more than the media attention itself, because it can be very fleeting, is how to use that and leverage that over the long term. So things like ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, those kind of things, those kind of places, and the Boston Globe, the Miami Herald, big newspapers, those have a halo effect as well. And so that's something else to consider. And I help people do those kind of things. So if you haven't got any national media, it's something you really want to consider, because there's really three things that make a brand and really help leverage. And you can do all the research you want for yourself and see how this works. What we call ICE: influence, credibility, and exposure. The more ICE you have, the more books you sell, the products you sell, the stages you get on, those kind of things. So anyway, it's just important that, again, I'm going to leave with this. You got to do it legally, ethically, and morally. People have to be able to look at the things you've done, see it, and you have to be able to prove it. Of course, it can be manipulated. We're so digitally savvy these days, and things we can manipulate, it can be done, but it's not worth it. So do yourself a favor, work on your influence, credibility, and exposure. Excuse me. If you need help with that, let me know. We can definitely put a package together and get you as a contributor, get you in national media, those kind of things to ramp up your brand, then show you how to use it. All right, that's the tip for today. I hope you have a great day. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.